It began on a flight from Los Angeles to New York, the kind of red-eye trip celebrities often take, hidden behind sunglasses and silence. Passengers later whispered that the woman in first class, blonde hair tucked under a cap, had quietly broken down mid-flight. No cameras, no entourage, just Kaley Cuoco, trembling as tears rolled down her cheeks. To those around her, she looked like a woman running from something deeper than exhaustion. And in a way, she was. Behind the laughter, the million-dollar smiles, and the glossy magazine covers, Kaley's life had been a series of reinventions, each one born out of heartbreak, ambition, and the relentless pressure to keep shining when everything inside her was dimming. Her story began far from Hollywood lights. Born in Camarillo, California, on November 30, 1985, Kaley Christine Cuoco grew up surrounded by love and movement. Her father, a realtor, and her mother, a homemaker, supported her early fascination with performing. But before she was ever in front of a camera, Kaley was on a tennis court, swinging a racket with the discipline of a prodigy. By age 6, she was already ranked among the top amateur players in the state. Yet destiny had other plans. When a casting agent spotted her natural charisma, her path veered sharply from sports to the stage. Her family, cautious but encouraging, allowed her to step into the unpredictable world of show business, unaware of how much that decision would cost her later in life. Kaley's early career was not the overnight success fans imagine. She auditioned endlessly, facing rejection after rejection, while balancing school and childhood dreams. She landed minor roles in commercials and TV movies, learning the unspoken rules of the industry: smile when you're told, never let them see you nervous, and always be grateful. But it wasn't until she appeared as Bridget Hennessy on 8 Simple Rules that she became a household name. Audiences loved her, the girl next door with a spark in her eyes and a mischievous laugh that could melt tension on set. Yet even as fame arrived, tragedy followed. When her co-star, the beloved John Ritter, suddenly passed away in 2003, Kaley was devastated. She later admitted she was just a kid who didn't know how to process grief. The show limped on, but the innocence of her first big break was gone forever. After 8 Simple Rules, Kaley took smaller roles, searching for meaning in a business that could be brutally cold. Then came the call that changed her life, a new sitcom centered around a group of socially awkward scientists and their beautiful neighbor. It sounded odd, maybe even forgettable. But The Big Bang Theory would become one of television's greatest phenomena, and Kaley Cuoco, as Penny, became its heart. Overnight, she went from a promising actress to one of the highest-paid women on television. She was adored by millions. Her face was everywhere: billboards, award shows, red carpets. But success, as she would learn, often hides its own kind of loneliness. Behind the cameras, Kaley's personal life was unraveling. She fell in love fast and deeply, often with men who mirrored her intensity. Her secret romance with co-star Johnny Galecki was one such chapter, a love that blossomed in secrecy and ended quietly, both of them determined to keep the show intact. Later, she married professional tennis player Ryan Sweeting, a union that seemed perfect at first glance. But fame has a way of testing love's foundations. After just 21 months, the marriage collapsed. Kaley later confessed that the divorce ruined her. She felt humiliated, exposed, and uncertain if she would ever trust again. Yet even in heartbreak, Kaley never stopped working. She poured her pain into performance, determined to redefine herself beyond The Big Bang Theory. When the show finally ended after 12 years, she didn't retreat, she reinvented. Through her production company, she took creative control, developing darker, riskier material. The Flight Attendant, a psychological thriller about a woman running from guilt and chaos, mirrored her own inner storms. It wasn't just acting, it was therapy, confession, and catharsis all rolled into one. The series earned her critical acclaim and reminded the world that behind the comedic timing was a woman of depth, strength, and vulnerability. Still, the battles off-screen continued. Kaley endured injuries, anxiety, and the crushing weight of Hollywood's expectations. She had been typecast for years, the bubbly blonde who made audiences laugh but rarely cry. Breaking free from that image was as painful as it was necessary. Even her body bore scars of her relentless drive. After a horseback riding accident left her legs shattered, she faced the terrifying possibility of never walking again. But like every chapter of her story, she refused to surrender. Through months of recovery, she rebuilt herself, stronger, wiser, and with a new understanding of resilience. And then, when she least expected it, love returned. In 2023, Kaley welcomed her daughter, Matilda, with actor Tom Pelphrey. For the first time, the woman who had given everything to her work found something that gave back: unconditional love. Fans saw a different Kaley now, softer, grounded, radiating peace. The tears that once fell in loneliness were now tears of gratitude. She often shared glimpses of her new life, holding her child close, smiling in quiet moments away from the spotlight. They were the kind of photos that captured not fame, but freedom, but fate has a way of circling back. The story that began with a woman crying alone on a flight found its full circle years later. Another late-night journey, another quiet seat by the window, only this time, Kaley wasn't breaking down. She was reflecting. The same skies that once witnessed her sorrow now watched over her serenity. She had learned that success wasn't about ratings or red carpets, it was about survival. The laughter she gave the world had come at a price, but she never stopped smiling. Every scar, every heartbreak, every fall had built the woman she became, an actress, a producer, a mother, and above all, a survivor. Kaley Cuoco's story is not just one of fame, it's one of endurance. From a tennis court in California to the top of Hollywood, she lived through loss, love, and reinvention. Her most private moments, captured in unseen photos and unspoken memories, reveal a woman who refused to let the world define her. The next time you see her laughing on screen, remember the tears that came before the smile. Because sometimes, the most beautiful stories are written in the quiet between heartbreak and hope. If Kaley's journey moved you, her triumphs, her struggles, her rebirth, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video to celebrate the woman behind the laughter, the star who turned pain into purpose, and the flight that ended not in tears, but in peace.